All right, everybody, it's still your boy Genius, still out here at the range and still not feeling well. That's the reason I've decided just to do some best 5 of videos. Before I get started on the more RMSc Shield micro dots, if you will, and the 5 best of in that category for me, I would like to invite each and every one of you to know Jesus Christ as your Savior, the literal most important decision you will ever make in your existence. If you've never heard that, if you have and you've procrastinated, if you're unsure about your eternal destination, reach out to me or Amanda at gsquaredtactical@gmail.com and allow us to share the good, the great news of the gospel of Jesus Christ with you. Today is a day of salvation. Take care of that today. Also, if you like what Amanda and I do, you can go over to Patreon, click on the link in the corner of the screen, take you right over there. You know what you can do once you're over there, $5. How much ever you would like to donate each month. We do upload everything over there. And it is a reoccurring charge, but you can cancel anytime. You can also go to our website at gsquaredtactical.com. Also, by clicking on the link in the corner of the screen, take you over there. You can pick up some merchandise, or you can also click on the 3 lines in the corner of the screen. When the scroll pops down, you can click on support the channel, pick a tier, wipe the box out, put in there the one-time donation you would like to make. It is a one-time donation. It is not reoccurring, and it all will go back into doing what we do. As you know, like I said in the other videos, I did all of these 5 best of, and it just kept on and kind of morphed from there, if you will. People kept saying, well, what about the best 5 of this and that? And before I do this video, like I have in the other videos, just want to say that no, I haven't had the Swamp Fox, the Gideon, the Crimson Traces, let's see, the Bushnells, and everyone else that makes all of these more semi-budget to budget optics. And the reason for that is real simple. Like I said, when I go into a restaurant, I typically don't change up what I order. And the reason for that is because I don't want to have a bad experience. I'm hungry. I generally only eat 1 time a day. And I want to get something that I know is good, right? That I'm not going to have a bad experience with. Well, I do the same thing with most things that I buy. So if I go out and I buy, a $250, $300 Holosun, and I've bought it several times before and it's a fantastic optic, well, I'm not even going to consider a Swamp Fox or a Gideon that is in the same price point that I've never had before, unless those cats want to send something to me for free and prove to me to the contrary that I'm wrong and their optic is better. I'm not going to gravitate towards ordering those optics offline or anything when I can walk into just about any sporting goods store and I can pick up a Holosun that I know is going to work, that I have a good experience with. All of these are optics that I have not went to other people's channels or Reddit, forums or anything like that to see what the general consensus is of everyone else. These are optics that I currently own. I've owned a lot of them. I've had nothing but great experiences with them, and they're on my everyday carry, my defense weapons. That's the only reason I would ever recommend them. Okay, first on the list, should come as no surprise to anyone. The price point is phenomenal. I'm thinking in most cases I've seen them at PSA occasionally for $200, but they're definitely between the $200 and $300 price point depending on where you go. Just a solid, good-looking optic, squared off, the Holosun 407K. Okay. It just is what it is. It works. That's primarily the thing. It just works, okay? The glass is clear enough. The dot is crisp enough. It doesn't splatter for me. I've had way more of those than I have any other optic, probably some of them all combined, and I've never, you hear me, never have I had to send one back for warranty. No one I've ever sold those guns to with that optic on it has had issues with it. In fact, they became Holosun fans after that. It almost has become the new standard over the RMSc Shield, even though that's the footprint that it has, okay? It just works. I don't know what else to say. It just works. It's low profile, it's side loading battery. You don't have to take it off to change the battery. The battery life is phenomenal, and it is just a good, solid optic that you get a good co-witness with on almost any gun you put it on, because again, it is so compact and it just works. I don't know what else to say, it just works. All right, second on the list is going to be something that might be a little bit controversial, because I've heard some folks say that other YouTubers, again, I don't watch them, have had some issues with them. But over the last 2 years, I have bought more of these optics actually than I have the Holosun 407, and that's primarily because occasionally Academy Sports will give a 20% discount on the things. You use your Academy Sports card, save like another 5%. So you save 25%. You can get out the door tax and all for about $200, and it's just worked for me. Best customer service, best warranty in the industry, and I've probably bought, man, I would say probably 12 to 15 of these things over the past 2 years, maybe less than that actually. And very much so like the Holosun 407K. It looks very similar to it. There's things about it I like more, okay? I like the rugged face or rim around the front of it. If you wanted to rack the slide with the optic or whatever, it's got a very good look, a little bit larger glass. The only reason it didn't make number one is because I have more experience with the 407. That would be the Vortex Defender CCW. I've had nothing but great success with them. My wife actually likes them better than the 407. She says she can see the dot better and more clear. It's just been a great, great optic for me. And again, second to none in my opinion, customer service and warranty. Okay, have any problem with it, send it back, you get another one. Also, it comes with just a whole box full of screws. Like, it's probably the only optic, it's definitely the only optic I've ever bought that comes with that many screws. Okay, all the screws you're going to need to mount that thing on whatever it is you're going to mount it on. Very low profile as well, very easy to get a co-witness with it. Like I said, it has a larger window. My wife says the glass is cleaner and she likes the dot better. And so I find myself putting it on a ton, an absolute ton of my guns in the last couple of years since it was released. And it may eventually end up being top of the list for me. It just depends on how much more I buy it and how much more I put it to the test. And eventually it may be top of the list for me. But the Vortex Defender CCW has been a fantastic optic for me. Just everything to love about the optic, and that's just been, again, my experience. I've had no issues with them. So third on the list would be the Holosun. This is an enclosed emitter. Now, these optics, none of these are optics that, you know, closed emitter, open emitter. Now, I'm not getting into all that. These are just the RMSc Shield footprint optics that it just always worked well for me. The EPS, a little bit more expensive than your traditional Holosun. I think it usually generally will run up closer to the $400 price range, maybe even a little bit more than that. But it's a nice, smaller, closed emitter optic. It's got a good glass, a good size glass. I got these bees coming around here saying hello. They're getting on my nerves. But again, it just works. Every Holosun I've ever had just works. Good feature set. Again, side loading battery, good dot, clean glass, and again, it just works. It's closed emitter, so you don't have to worry about getting trash and things down inside, and potentially, not being able to get down in there and clean it out or distort your dot in any way. Again, my wife is not a huge fan of it. I don't know why, but I put it on my my Legion 365. And it's just been a great optic. I've put it on several since then. It's just a great optic. I don't know what more to say about it. Again, this is not a deep breakdown of the MOAs, the sizes, and all of that stuff. Again, it's just literally me telling you my experience what it has been and what's worked best for me and has been functional and reliable for me, and that would be third on the list with the Holosun EPS. Fourth on the list, this one will probably come as a surprise to some people, simply because you do have to get a plate in most cases, because it does have a very proprietary-ish, if that's even a word, proprietary-ish footprint, okay? And so you do have to get a plate or an adapter, usually it's plastic, to adapt it to different firearms. And so I know that this is probably going to be a strange one, but we had to get Trijicon in here just simply because they're indestructible. They're literally bulletproof and they just work, okay? It is probably, well, it's definitely the most expensive one on this list. I know it's not a very popular one. I know it's not one that people have bought a lot of, but I put several of them on Canic pistols just because I like how narrow they are. They don't stick off the sides of the gun. I put a couple on some Glock pistols, and there was one other pistol that I put one on that I can't remember right off the top of my head, but that would be the Trijicon RMRcc. And I actually really like the optic. Again, I like the look of it. I know you got to have a little adapter plate or what have you, but there's some that I have flush mounted it. I don't remember which one it was on. I wish I could remember right now, but I really love that thing. I believe it was my Canic Rival, I believe is what I put it on, one of them anyway. And it just looks so good on that gun because of how narrow it was. It just filled the void front to back. It just, I don't know, I like the optic is what I'm saying, and I've had experience with it, and it's been fantastic, just like every other Trijicon. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's just been a good optic for me. All right. Fifth on the list, I mean, how could you not take the standard, the RMSc Shield footprint, where they got the standard from, and that would be the Shield RMSc, mini reflex. I mean, you can't find them in the store. There's literally not a single store that I could walk to right now and pick one up off the shelf. The ones that I've had, I've purchased it with them on the gun, okay? And it's kind of ugly. I don't like those two arms that come up the back. It's a goofy looking optic, but they did set the standard for the RMSc Shield footprint. I know a ton of police departments that have ordered a bunch of Glocks with them on there. They really love them. They're rugged, they work, clean glass, clear dot, all of the other stuff. It's got to be on the list because it works. And it's ugly. Yes, I get it, but it's priced well. It's at a good price point. The RMSc Shield, and I have to do the honorable mention simply because this company has sent me a ton of these dots and they've all worked great. In fact, it is by a lot, my wife will tell you, her favorite optic. She is so enamored with it. Anytime that I pull it out and she sees that on there, she says, yep, I'm going to shoot good with this gun today. And that would be the Fox Army's, more specifically the FXV22 Pro. It's just been an unbelievable optic for me in that $150 to $175 price point. I'll put a link to it in the corner of the screen here to take you over to Amazon, check it out. Nobody out of the over 100 people that's purchased one at my recommendation, I think they told me 2 people sent them back. I don't know what the one person sent it back for, but the other person said that the dot was splattered or haloed or whatever. It probably had astigmatism. I'm not sure. But everyone has reached out to me in the comment section and told me how much they appreciate me recommending it because they bought it off Amazon, used my discount code G210 at checkout to save 10%, and they just absolutely love the optic. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate when people tell me they purchased something off of my recommendation and they really like it, okay? It feels like I'm doing my job, essentially. The Fox Army optics, I've had the red dots for rifles or, PCCs or what have you. And I've had the FXV, the FXV22 Pro, the green dot. I've had them all and they've all worked great. And my wife loves the things, and they do have a very clean glass, crisp dot, and a you don't have to take the optic off to change the battery. So that's a big deal for me, if you haven't heard me say that enough. And that's one thing that kind of does keep me away from buying almost strictly just the RMR type optics, just because of having to remove it to change the battery and then re-zeroing the dot. And because it doesn't have shake awake, the battery doesn't last as long in those. But either way, definitely honorable mention, the Fox Army optic. Again, click on that link I put in the corner of the screen and use my discount code G210. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Again, anybody wants to reach out, you know, hey, if you like Swamp Fox, what is it, Liberties, and some of these Gideons and some of these other ones, that's great. I'm glad you like it. I'm genuinely happy you found an optic that works for you. But I'm not going to go online and buy that optic when I can pick up any one of these, except for the Shield RMSc, of course. But I can pick up any one of these at a local store shelf, and I know they work. Probably not going to pick those other ones up. So if you want to reach out to them and tell them to send me one, because I'm not convinced they're better than these others, hey, do that. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Free to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. 81% of the folks who watch our videos are not subscribed, and only 20% of those who are actually watch the videos. So we got to fix that. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. To God only be the glory.